Welcome to Patriots Way, where history is being made.
The support's been awesome. Our school's excited, our community's excited, our parents and our kids, our student body.
The Westside Patriots 6-0 for the first time in more than 2 decades, and a win away from their first 7-0 start since 1982.
They had to endure some hard times the last 2 years, but you know, they've just stuck to it and they've continued to work hard and just trust what we're preaching to them every day. And I'm just so excited for our seniors.
Hot on their heels in the region standings are the Harlem Bulldogs, just a game back.
I think the keys are really what they always are in a football game. You know, you want to win the turnover battle. You don't want to turn the ball over, and you want to create turnovers on defense.
A showdown for a possible region crown.
Big time game, one of the biggest games in the state. Of course, one of the biggest games in this area, so you can't help but be excited about this one.
Welcome to Game Night Live. WJBF Sports presents local high school football live in your living room each Friday night. Game Night Live is powered by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And now, your hosts, John Hart and Ashley Brown.
Crazy to think, isn't it? What everything looked like 3 weeks ago tonight. And now you would be hard-pressed to find a more perfect night in late October for high school football than we have tonight. And we have a pretty perfect matchup for you as well, possibly for the top of the region. Westside and Harlem, and as John Hart joining you from the battlefield, as they call it here on the campus of Westside High School, joined as always by Ashley Brown. Nathan Edwards, our statistician, will be along shortly, and Kira Goldstein working the sidelines for us tonight. And AB, history, as we said in the opening segment, being made here at Westside. This team is on a mission.
Absolutely. They have been on a roll. Lee Hutto is one of the best defensive coaches around, maybe one of the most underrated coaches in the state. They add one of the top running backs in Nari Kamga. They are unbeaten, 6-0, and they're taking on a Harlem team that could easily be unbeaten. They got knocked off last week 12-7 in a close game against a very good Aquinas team. We got a great matchup tonight.
And let's take it down to the field for the coin toss.
Gentlemen, this is what I ask of you. You got to be chosen captains for a reason. Let's control your teams. If I ask you to control your team. Everybody understand, right? Respect goes both ways. We're going to respect down and up, all right? So if I tell you to do something, just do it. All right? You talk to your team, Everybody understand? Yes, sir. All right, guys. Westside, you're the home team. Harlem, you're the visiting team. I got a police coin here. The 5 is the heads. The badges are the tails. The 5 are the heads. The badges are the tails. Tell him what you call. Heads. Heads? Yes, sir. Heads. It's tails. What do you want to do?
Yeah, we want the ball.
You want the rock. Which way you want to kick? From the clock. Yep. Put your backs over there. Put your backs over there. Westside want the toss. They want the rock.
So interesting choice by, usually you see a team win the toss, they defer to the second half. Lee Hutto said, if we want the football,
well,
let's go.
When your defense is only allowing 9 points a game, maybe that's what you want to be on to start the second half, that defense.
And speaking of, that brings us to our keys to the game.
Yeah, for the visitors from Harlem, they've got to pressure. Get pressure on the quarterback, and then win the turnover battle. That's going to be a big key there for sure. And then you look on the other side of the coin, and they're going to have to Harlem's got to get the passing game going. They've got to be able to throw the football. They're not going to be able to rely on the run against this defense. And then they've got to contain Nari Kamga, who has a chance tonight to go over 1,000 yards rushing.
And here come the Harlem Bulldogs. 4-1 overall, 2-1 in Region 4 AAA. And the Westside Patriots unbeaten, 6-0 for the first time since 2002, and 4-0 in Region 4 AAA. The Patriots will have the ball first. Kickoff next on Game Night Live. 17th meeting between these two teams. Harlem leads the all-time series 10-6. They haven't played since 2019. Harlem has won the last 4, by the way, by a combined score of 142-14, but obviously none of those players on either of those two squads tonight. And we're underway. And Westside will bring it out to the 20.
Well, the Patriots do feature, as I said, one of the top running backs in the area, Nari Kamga, the senior. He got off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but he has over 200 yards in 2 of his last 3 games, including 250 last week and 4 touchdowns in the matchup versus Cross Creek.
It's a Westside offense averaging 31 points per game. And you mentioned it in the outset, AB. Their hallmark is their defense, allowing 9 points a game. So that'll be the challenge for Harlem tonight. But first, it's the Patriots.
Well, you want to key on Kamga, but the one thing you can't do, number one, Josh Crawford is a big-time playmaker. So when they do throw the ball, Jalen Stone, the young quarterback, he's going to look for number one, Josh Crawford. So those are the 2 guys that Harlem really has to key on tonight if they're going to be able to slow down Westside and get a win here.
This is a Patriots team that runs at 75% of the time. In fact, they average 225 rushing yards a game, and as if on cue, they throw it on first down and incomplete.
Let's take a look at the coaches for Westside. You've got Lee Hutto, we mentioned, I think one of the most underrated in the state. In his 9th overall season, 4th at Westside, and he's got a winning record at every stop. He is the former coach at both Warren County and Washington Wilkes. Border Bowl 10 head coach, Lee Hutto, a Thompson grad. And then on the other side, Mark Border. He's a Harlem guy through and through, played for Harlem, assistant coach, now the head coach in his 5th season, 28-21, 3 straight trips to the playoffs, and they were the 2022 region champs.
And you mentioned this Westside offense, and it is led by Jalen Stone. 30 of 50 passing, 601 yards, 4 touchdowns. And as I talk about the passing, they'll run it.
Yeah, Stone, the coach said he's just raw. He's getting better and better as he gets confidence, as he plays more. Obviously, the team's undefeated. He's been doing his job. But one of his jobs is to hand the ball to number 8, Kamga. And he's been so special all year, really his whole career. He's approaching 2,500 yards. He was not a starter up until last season, and he rushed for over 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns after only 300 yards as a reserve as a sophomore.
Line to gain is the 30 on 3rd and 7. Stone with time, wants a bunch. And broken up, incomplete. Nice play by Ronald Oliver, who had a big game on Game Night Live last week on offense.
He was able to stay with Williams there, Javon Williams. You know, that's what Westside does. They run the ball with Kamga, and they like to throw deep. And that time the ball was not poorly thrown. It was just a good defensive play by Oliver.
Yeah, you could tell Oliver was tracking that like a wide receiver because he plays a lot of wide receiver.
So Shelton Freeman will be in to punt it away, and Harlem's going to get great field position to start their first drive.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better defensive stance there for Harlem to start things off, especially coming off a loss. You know, where the defense really played well. They just could not get anything going offensively against Aquinas and Jaden Worth and company on defense.
Line drive kick. Good bounce for well. It's like checked up like an Ashley Brown 9-iron at the 50-yard line, but Harlem will have the ball in Westside territory at the 49-yard line.
Well, now we'll see who does Harlem come in with at quarterback, because we've seen 3 different QBs.
They listed Giovanni Arroyo as the starter.
Yeah, but they're going with Mercer Barton, who finished the contest last week versus Aquinas.
And so you and I thought, Nathan and I thought at the end of the game last week, they kind of found something in that 4th quarter with Barton and Oliver.
Well, Barton can throw the football, there's no doubt.
And it is complete to Oliver. So the Barton to Oliver connection works here on first down.
Yeah, it was tipped by Holcomb, the first receiver, but it went straight to Oliver, so it worked out well there. But Barton is really the 3rd guy to start at quarterback. Harlem in their opener started Brent Coleman, and then Arroyo played so well as a reserve, he became the starter, and now Barton gets his chance. Barton gets his chance as a starter here tonight.
Pick up a 5 on first down, and on second down, they're going to move the chains.
Yeah, nice run there by, again, they always seem to have these diminutive running backs that can handle, can run the rock, and that's Malik Tyler, their leading rusher.
A Hawk Law Group first down. to the 38-yard line.
We mentioned Westside likes to go to Josh Crawford. Futrell, number 2, Jaden Futrell is who Harlem really likes to go to.
Oh. In and out of the hands of, I believe that was
Anderson.
Rod Anderson, the sophomore tight end.
And you know, he almost made a great one-handed catch there.
I thought he was about to pull that one in.
It looked very smooth. The pass was well thrown. You know, Barton's been impressive. You know he's pretty good because in the first game of the season, on a big 2-point conversion, and he was the 3rd quarterback at the time, they let him throw a pass complete. So you knew they have confidence in him, and now he's worked his way all the way up to the starting spot.
And Tyler on 2nd down picks up a couple. And that's another thing we noticed in that 4th quarter last week. It was we had Harlem on Game Night Live against Aquinas. They brought Baylor Davis in late in the game on offense, and he had some success.
Well, I thought that might be what we see a lot of tonight. Baylor Davis is their best player on defense, but he came in and had 2 long runs against Greenbrier, and they took him out on a play where he was just tired after 2 long runs, and they fumbled the football on the next play.
3rd and 9. And it'll be a 1st down. The Bulldogs move the chains. And it's, again, his favorite target, Jaden Futrell.
Yeah, and Harlem looks good here. They're mixing it up nicely. And the one thing I said Westside needed to do was pressure the quarterback. The problem is they're not able to because Barton's getting the ball out pretty quick. Good game plan by Boyders.
Futrell leads the team in offense or receptions coming in. And how about this? Barton from 28 yards out, touchdown Harlem.
That was such a weird play. It was almost like some of the Westside defenders thought the play was blown dead because they just stood still in the middle of the field, and Barton took advantage with a nice run for the touchdown. And there were some players in the middle of the field looked like they had a chance to get him.
He never even got the ball tucked away.
Yeah. Good job, again, with a nice read by Barton, the young quarterback.
What a start for the Bulldogs.
Well, last game it took them almost the entire game to score any points. And here on their first possession, they come away with a touchdown, but the extra point is no good.
Looks like it was blocked.
Yeah.
And we'll try to get some eyes on who got a hand on that. In the meantime, 9:08 to play. Bulldogs 6, Patriots nothing. Well, that Harlem drive took less than a minute and a half off the clock there. Looked pretty easy for the Bulldogs. And this is a Westside defense that, again, is allowing 9 points per game
yeah.
And already 6 in the first 3 minutes.
Well, credit the defense, too, for Harlem. They get a 3 and out, so they get the ball after a poor punt. They get the ball at midfield, so they had a short field to work with, and Barton completed a few passes. Tyler had a nice run or two, and then Barton takes it the rest of the way. So a great start for the Bulldogs coming off a rough game last week offensively.
Kind of an interesting chess match to watch tonight. You have Mark Boyder, who I think we would all agree is one of the better offensive minds in our area, against Lee Hutto, one of the better defensive minds in our area.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. And I think Coach Boyder, I was talking about the kind of quarterback carousel. I love that he has so much confidence. Back in the day, the starters played the whole game. It was rare for a backup to come in and play. And nowadays, there's so many more kids who are ready to play. And Coach Boyder seems to have confidence in whoever. They literally can put 4
Westside elects to take the ball to 35. 35, 1st and 10, Westside.
And they do have 3 quarterbacks that they play fairly regularly. You've got Giovanni Arroyo, who started last week on Game Night Live, and now, of course, Mercer Barton, and then Brent Coleman will also take some snaps.
Well, and then you throw Baylor Davis in the mix as more of a runner, but he will get in that Wildcat formation at quarterback and take the direct snap.
Patriots from their own 35. Oh, dear. Oh, boy. What a start for the Bulldogs.
That is, man, just a terrible break.
Anderson, the man on the spot for the Bulldogs. Horrible break for Westside. Huge turnover for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, just no touch at all on this pitch. I mean, Jalen Stone, first off, there no spacing. Comka was a little too close to the quarterback, but also on that pitch, that's got to be a touch pass. That's not a bullet. And man, just a really a big mix-up. You don't expect that from starters in week 7. Maybe week 1, maybe week 2. So that is a big error there by Westside's offense. Now let's see if the defense can bail them out here,
or if Harlem's offense can capitalize. And a flag down before the first snap on this offensive possession for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that again, you can't be too close because you're wanting to make the defense make a decision. If you're too close, one guy can cover you both. That's first, and then also you got to have a space for that pitch. So the double problem there: no spacing and then a tough, hard pitch.
And some trickery on first down, and it is complete into the hands of Venturius Holcomb. Inside the 15, the Bulldogs into the red zone.
Another guy that has emerged for Harlem. We didn't call his name out in the Greenbrier game in week 1. Last week he made some plays early on. That was just the case of the receiver knowing where the ball was and the defender lost. The receiver turned around and made a play on the ball and made an easy catch. The defender was there. He just didn't know where the ball was.
12 yards on the grab. 1st and 10 at the 15 in the end motion red zone. Go the Bulldogs.
Harlem coming out looking a lot different than the team we saw a week ago.
Barton in trouble, and down he goes at the 25.
Yeah, terrific play defensively. Westside.
It's like Nick Smalls.
Smalls is their leader. That's he's got, coming into this game, he had 3.5 sacks. They have 7 different guys between 4.5 tackles and 6.5 tackles per game. So it's no one guy averaging 17 or 18 tackles. They tackle in groups. They get those silver helmets around the ball. But Smalls is probably the leader on that team.
This time Barton again looking for Holcomb. Holcomb inside the 10. 1st and goal. Well, not quite 1st and goal.
Yeah, they got to get down to the 5 for the first down. Yeah.
All right, jump the gun just a little bit. But this Harlem offense is moving very quickly. It'll be, let's see, 3rd and about 4.
They're moving quickly, literally, because they're not huddling here.
Just got him a 1st down.
Yeah, Westside
there you
moved.
go. See, I knew what I was talking about.
Defense, that's going to result in a 1st down. That's going to result in a 1st down.
So now it's 1st and goal from about the 5-yard line. And boy, what a rough start for Westside here on homecoming night.
You can ask John what they're going to run next. He sees the future.
I know.
Little Tony Romo.
I don't know why. If he can see the future, why are we here? Why are we?
There's some
places we could be that would, yeah.
I see that we will be at Evans next week, calling the Greenbrier Evans game.
Wow.
1st and goal at the 5.
But now here's Baylor Davis, the direct snap.
Davis stopped at the 2. We saw this a couple of times last week, specifically in the 4th quarter we saw this.
Yeah, he's normally, the defensive standout. He had 129 tackles a year ago, but he is a really good athlete, can really run. We didn't get to see him in the Greenbrier game. He was hurt.
They'll stay with it.
But
on 2nd and goal from the 2.
Looked very good last week.
Davis again, and again dropped. No gain.
Yeah, I don't think he made a great read there. That was a read where he could have handed it to Tyler, kept it himself. If he kept it and ran to the outside, he maybe scores. If he gives it to Tyler, maybe he scores. The one thing he couldn't do was run into the teeth of the defense.
Xavier Devon on the stop for Westside. Their leading tackler with 36, make it 37 now.
Yeah, I wonder if he's actually reading that or if that's just a
a play
decoy that he's keeping that all the way.
3rd and goal from the Westside 3-yard line.
They're sticking with Baylor Davis here, 3 straight runs possibly.
Oh, the jump pass. Touchdown, Harlem.
That's a great play call. Rod Anderson. That is a great play call.
Reminiscent of the mid-2000 Florida Gators.
Well, if you watch Florida film, Harlem film, you've never seen Baylor Davis do anything but run the ball out of the quarterback spot. So that is a terrific play call. Rod Anderson wide open, and Harlem jumps out early.
We mentioned as the extra point sails through We mentioned the chess match between the offensive mind of Mark Boyder and the defensive mind of Lee Hutto. And a great play call makes it 13-0 Bulldogs with still 5:52 to go. Let's check in with Kira Goldstein down on the sidelines for the first time.
Guys, we're seeing a very different Harlem team tonight than we did last week. And there are a couple big differences that we're seeing. Coach Boyder stressed that last week they did not get off to the start that they wanted. They were not aggressive enough. And a big thing that cost them was penalties. They had almost 100 yards in penalties through the first 3 quarters. They really picked it up in the 4th quarter, but that was not what he wanted to see to start the game tonight. So that was something that he stressed this week. And I think that's part of why we're seeing such an aggressive and strong performance early on in this game from Harlem.
Kira, thanks. Kira playing hurt tonight with battling
good stuff
battling some sort of cold. We'll make sure we'll sterilize that mic flag before next week. 13-0 Harlem. That drive took 3:07 off the clock, and so we'll see if the Patriots can answer. And they'll start from the 20.
Well, and if you're Lee Hutto and his coaching staff, you got to tell the guys, hey, calm down. I mean, there's a lot of game left, but we've got to start playing our brand of football. They've got to open some holes for Comga. They got to look for the big plays for Crawford. And most importantly, the defense has got to slow down this Harlem offense when they're on D. First things first, though, they've got to move the football. They have not had it on the Harlem side of the field yet.
Westside averaging 31 points a game. And one thing they do so well, we talked about, is run the football. 9 yards a carry they average this season. And so far, Harlem has been able to bottle that up, and again on first down.
Yeah, Comga a little bit slow to get up there. Don't think he's hurt, just getting up from the bottom of the pile. Yeah, they've got to up front, they're going to have to do a number tonight on this Harlem defense. Harlem, we know they're aggressive. We know they swarm around the ball, and that's what Westside's going to have to open some holes if they're going to win this game.
1 yard gain on first down, brings up 2nd and 9.
We got some big games going on around the area and around the state tonight, including undefeated Lakeside at Brunswick. We'll have a score for you at halftime on that one.
Goodness gracious.
And that's Baylor Davis doing what he does best, and that's making tackles. And Davis completely shut that play down. He didn't let Comga get to the outside, and he didn't just turn him in. He turned him in and also grabbed him and brought him down.
And what's crazy about that is Davis is doing a little bit of everything now.
Yep.
He ran it in the 4th quarter last week. He's throwing touchdown passes this week, and now, of course, doing what he normally does on defense.
And last year against Midland Valley in that great game, we saw him catch a touchdown on a fake punt. So he can do a little bit of everything.
Big 3rd down for the Patriots. And Stone dropped at the 15.
Yeah, big play there by the Harlem defense. And that was number 55, Taylor Hart. It'll be 4th down. Stone got away from the first 2 defenders, but Hart.
Who had the tackle?
Taylor Hart.
Cousin Taylor.
We know which side of the family got the athleticism.
You got that right. He has 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks this year, and just an absolute beast on this Harlem defense. And so, Bulldogs are going to get it back, and stop me if you've heard this one. Once again, great field position as Joseph Clark will take it, and Harlem will start at the 41-yard line, and you cannot ask for a better start if you are Mark Boyder.
Yeah, this is even better than the start for the opening drive by about 10 yards. And, man, this is the recipe for winning. If you're moving the football and you're getting great field position, and that's exactly what they're doing.
So they've started on Westside's 49, Westside's 28, and Westside's 41.
That's pretty darn good.
And it's the way they kind of started last week, but they didn't cash in.
That's right. That's true. Yeah, they got great field position, but penalties and poor execution early hurt them.
Barton back in at quarterback, and we'll swing it out to Oliver, who'll pick up 5.
This Oliver kid, the offense seems to be going better. Arroyo just had a rough start last week. He really played well early on in the season. We saw him against Greenbrier, but last week he struggled, and they've gone with Barton, and Barton's looked really good so far tonight.
It's tough after that long of a layoff they had as well in between games. Come back and be sharp last week.
There's Tyler with a lot of teams around the area are having to pack games in to make up after losing some time due to Hurricane Helene. As a matter of fact, North Augusta played last night, and it's a stretch where they will play 3 games over the span of, I think, 8 days.
Lakeside's doing the same thing. On the flip side, Lee Hutto told us this week that they actually benefited. They had a bye week the night that Helene blew through.
Yeah.
So they didn't have a game to make up, and so the stretch run's going to be a little bit better for the Patriots. But tonight,
great
so
fake.
Much. And look at this, Barton twisting, turning, first down into the red zone at the 15-yard line.
What a great fake. Smalls came in there, and I thought was going to disrupt the play. We might have a face mask. I thought Smalls was going to ruin that play. He tackled Tyler, but Tyler didn't have the ball. Barton with a great fake, kept it himself. I think this might be a face mask.
See a lot of the players wearing the pink socks in honor of
Here we go.
Breast Cancer Awareness
Personal
Month.
foul. Face mask on the defense. First down, Harlem.
Well, that'll be half the distance to the goal. So Barton's good run becomes even better.
Yeah, it's going to take Harlem all the way down to the, looks like the 7-yard line.
What a start for the Bulldogs. Again, this is a team that last week against Aquinas just could not get in the end zone.
And they'll swing it out to Futrell, who's usually on the receiving end, but this time running the football. Gets inside the 3-yard line, pick up about 1.
Yeah, that young man will be a key part of a Harlem basketball team everybody needs to keep an eye on. Jeff Williams has been named the head coach there, and his son AJ, who is just going to be a sophomore this year, already has an offer from Oklahoma State as they come in. He was at New Hampstead last year, and his dad got the head coaching job at Harlem, so a lot of eyes will be on the Harlem basketball team this season as well.
And check that, it's a pickup of 3, so from the 3.
Oh, what a catch.
Did he make the catch? Futrell, what a grab! Touchdown Harlem!
What a catch. Early candidate for play of the game right there.
My goodness.
Oh, what a catch.
His 5th touchdown grab of the season, and none better than that.
Futrell, he has really emerged. They say he is just so athletic, just getting better and better. And a heck of a play there. Great concentration to grab that with one hand off the tip.
And they're going to fake it to Holder. And Holder in for the 2-point conversion.
Man, everything is going Harlem's way tonight. Holder, the star baseball player, committed to Georgia Southern in baseball.
What a start for this Harlem team. And we're not through the first quarter yet. Take a look at the Busby's replay. That was reminiscent of the LSU fake field goal many years ago.
Man, if you're Lee Hutto, you're going, what is happening? Worst possible start for Westside.
And I'm going to remind everyone once again, this is a Westside team that does not give up points. 9 per game coming in.
And undefeated, 6-0.
And undefeated 6-0 for the first time since 2002. Trying to go go 7-0 for the first time since 1982.
We're still early, and we're still in the first quarter, but this is not a Westside offense that's going to be good coming from behind either. They're focusing on running the football.
Well, they can make deep throws to Crawford, but when you're not able to run it, those deep throws don't get open as easy. They just need to get a drive. They need to move the ball to the other side of the field at least. They haven't been able to get onto Harlem's side of the field yet.
It's not going to help. And the Patriots will start from their 15, maybe their 14-yard line.
Yeah, that was Crawford trying to make something happen.
Well, the one thing Westside does have going for it right now, a lot of athletes on both sides of the football that can turn things around fairly quickly. But to Nathan's point, this is not a quick strike offense.
No. And like I said, the one thing they do have is they can throw the deep ball to Crawford, and he can make plays. But when you're not able to run it, that threat is not as big. And so far, they haven't been able to run, throw, do any, and certainly not stop Harlem. This has been a dominated first quarter by the Bulldogs so far. Let's see if Westside can get something going here.
And the officials step in.
Do we have? Yeah, we got a new quarterback, I believe.
Ball start offense.
5
yards. There we go,
looks like
baby.
Cam Butler has come in at quarterback. Is it? Let's see. Or am I seeing things? There's Stone.
Well, let's see how they line up.
If it is Butler, he's not listed. Oh, there you go. Okay, here comes Stone, I think. So Westside just trying to get something going here.
Oh, my goodness. Well, things just going from bad to worse in reverse for the Patriots right now.
And I get it. I mean, this, some of these teams have not been able to play and practice and things like that. But, man, what a rough start for Westside.
Well, I'm struck by something that Nick Saban said on College Game Day the week after the Georgia-Alabama game. And Reese Davis asked him, is it easier to motivate a team coming off a big win or coming off a big loss, which you would think would be an obvious answer. But he said it is almost impossible to motivate a team coming off a big win.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Kirby Smart trying to motivate Georgia coming off of that loss and how you can really, really find your team in a moment like that.
Yeah.
What you're seeing in this Harlem team coming off that, I mean, that was a tough loss last week against Aquinas. And the way they've responded so far tonight, tremendous credit to this Harlem coaching staff.
Yeah, no question. These kids have a lot of fight in them. They didn't give up last week. They were down 12-0.
It was a one-score game.
Yeah, pretty much the whole game, and then they scored late to make it interesting and, took their first loss of the season. Again, we talk about Westside 6-0. Harlem's 4-1, and their only loss was to a pretty good Aquinas team.
I think, with all due respect to Aquinas, I think a lot of us thought this was going to be a battle of unbeatens tonight.
We did, and also if you look at the record, some of Harlem's wins now are pretty impressive. I mean, Greenbrier, we know, is a darn good football team. Harlem beat them in the opener. I don't know. I know this. I don't know if anybody that's beaten Greenbrier wants to play them again. The way they're playing much better. But man,
I would have wanted to play them early. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure if you're
kind of like the Steelers and the Falcons. I'm so glad we got that out of the way.
I disagree.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you're the Harlem coaches and you went back and watched that film, no disrespect to Aquinas, but they probably felt like they beat themselves. There was tons of plays they left wide open. They just didn't execute.
So second in a bunch for the Patriots, and it's Jarius Ogden.
Well, one thing that they struggled with last week, Arroyo was just all over the place throwing the football. And obviously tonight, Barton's come out and been on the money pretty much every throw. That alone has been a big difference.
As impressive of a quarterback as I've seen pregame and warm-ups, just dropping in the bucket, throw after throw after throw.
And he's not a big kid. I mean, he doesn't blow you away there, but I mean, he's got an arm. We saw it last week on one of the deep throws. He tossed.
And the Patriots finally moved the chains. And likely the final snap of this. Well, we might get one more after they move the chains. Hawk Law Group first down.
I don't think, I don't think anybody would have been stunned if Harlem or Westside won this game. I don't think anybody would have predicted a 21-0 first quarter for either team.
And if you're Lee Hutto, you bring this team to your sideline and you say, you know what? They got 21 in the first. We can get 21 in the second.
Yep.
And if you're Mark Boyder, you just say, keep on keeping on.
Yeah, the 0-0. Yeah. Let's try to win every quarter.
That will be the final snap of this first quarter. When we go to the second, all Harlem in the first, 21-0. Westside with a fresh set of downs as we begin the second quarter of play here at what they call the Battlefield, James Alexander McRae Jr. Stadium. And on first down, Harlem up to the task. Goodness gracious. Rod Anderson, an early contender for our McDonald's Defensive Player of the Game. He is having a whale of a ball game. A loss of 4.
Want to do some QBs?
Let's do our QBs by the quarter for the first quarter.
So Stone is 2 of 4 for 22 yards in that first quarter, and Barton for Harlem came out hot, 5 of 6, 37 yards and a touchdown, and definitely had a couple of long runs as well.
Our QBs by the quarter brought to you as always by Culpeper Lumber Ace Hardware. 2nd and 14. And about to be more than that. You fellas checking out the moon horizon?
T, what number? We got T.
Is it made of cheese?
Would you eat it?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. It's been beautiful the last 2 or 3 nights. The super moon.
I was expecting it to be a little more chilly tonight. It was cold last night and this morning, and it's not as cool as I thought it'd be. It's got just a perfect chill.
It's a perfect night for football.
Yeah, it is.
It's never a good thing when you're starting the second quarter and you have more penalty yards than you do total yards.
Yeah, that's not good.
Great job by our camera crew and the folks in the truck to get a shot of the man on the moon. And again, just tough sledding for Westside. Just every yard tough to come by.
Yeah, Harlem came to play. Westside's going to have to give their best effort of the year if they're even going to make a game of this.
Yeah, we do have a player down for Westside.
What a lineman it looks like.
Let's talk about the basketball team. You want to talk about the closest thing we have in our area to a dynasty? The Westside Patriots basketball team have won 3 straight state titles. They'll be going for number 4 this spring under Coach Jerry Hunter. And you're looking at March 7th in Macon, Georgia, when they dominated Toombs County 64-29 to win that 3rd straight state championship. They averaged, AB, you know this, the postseason margin of victory, 37 points. It was never in doubt.
Unbelievable. And by the way, the rich get richer. They got a transfer in this year, 6'5" guard named Rashund Washington that is spectacular. So, yeah, it's going to be another good year, I would think, for Westside.
And the good news is Harris was able to walk off under his own power. Bad news is it's 3rd and 18, and it's about to be 4th and 18, and turnover on. They're going to have to kick it back to the Bulldogs.
Well, I mean, you know, the problem is they're about to give it to them again in great field position.
So Westside's had 4 possessions so far in this game, only 21 total yards, -1 yards rushing. And they got 31 yards on penalties.
Again, and they have Nari Kamga, who came into this game needing only 154 to top 1,000 on the season. And it was coming off a 250-yard game last week on just 13 carries.
Joseph Clark will take it and be knocked down at the 48-yard line.
That was Smalls on the tackle.
But again, as you said, AB, great field position for the Bulldogs. And it seems like there's a lot of time left in this game, and there is, but everything going Harlem's way right now.
I feel like Westside's got to find a turnover.
Yeah, they got to get a big play.
To flip.
Some kind of momentum switch.
They got to pick up a fumble and run it or something. And one of the things they could do is maybe get some pressure on Barton. The Smalls is their best pass rusher.
And it is in Westside territory at the 49-yard line. It's Tyler on first down and gets a huge push, and he'll pick up 8 yards.
Yeah, just right in the teeth of the defense.
Yeah, this is a Harlem team, averages 5 yards a carry on the season, and he'll pick up 7 here, 2nd and 7.
Well, we keep talking about Westside was, again, 6-0. Harlem, no slouch either, 4-1, tough loss to Aquinas, but, this could have easily been 2 unbeatens. And right now it is all Bulldogs.
Tyler again picks and chooses his way through the line, still on his feet. This reminds me of that play at the end of the game last week when Harlem's offense, or Aquinas' offense, just pushed James Franklin down the field.
Yeah.
Harlem kind of doing that now with Malik Tyler.
Yeah, they watched the play and said, yeah, that worked good.
That was our play,
Try that.
Our Powerade play of the game last week on Game Night Live. And a big first down in Harlem, now at the 33-yard line.
Well, if you're Westside and you have any thoughts of trying to get back in this game, you can't give up points here. You got to somehow get a stop.
Ain't broke, ain't fixing it. Tyler, but this time shoved back. Was that Devon?
I'm trying to see who it was. 30, was it? Yeah, it looked like 32 maybe.
Yeah, it's Devon.
Yep. Xavier Devon, who mentioned approaching 40 tackles on the season. That might have been number 40, right around there.
2nd and 10. New back into the game, and he'll pick up a couple.
Yeah, picked up about 2 or 3. And that was, I believe, Rod Anderson, the tight end.
Oh, no. 25.
Oh, 25.
That's Finn Martin, a sophomore running back. And we talked about the depth on this Harlem roster.
Yeah, and we've seen that Coach Borders is not afraid to throw anybody in there in any situation. Here comes Baylor Davis. And usually when he's in there, he's taking the direct snap. And that's what they're going to go with here on 3rd down and about 5. Long 5.
Davis will keep it. Davis will have it. Davis still on his feet inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, great run.
Finally dragged down by a Shaw Gibbons.
Needed 5, got 15. Faked the pitch, and everybody went with the pitch, and then he took off to the opposite side. Good run there by Baylor Davis, and a good play call again by Coach Borders.
14-yard pickup for Davis, and it is 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. The in-motion red zone. Go the Bulldogs.
Oh.
Got an early report on the Greenbrier Effingham County game, and it's not going well for Greenbrier.
And we see one of the Westside players being taken back to the locker room. So Westside can ill afford injuries or anything else to happen to them at this point. Down 21-0. And the Bulldogs driving once again from the 19. Barton. And that one falls incomplete.
That's what Westside needed maybe. Barton got hit as he threw it. Crawford nearly came up for the interception, and that's the kind of play Westside needed to get that turnover there. So it's going to be 3rd and long. Big play here for the Westside defense. They've got to get a stop here and force Harlem into a decision on whether they kick it or go for it on 4th.
3rd and 13, and it is a huge play for this Westside defense.
They may have knocked him out of field goal range there.
Riante Brown, junior defensive lineman.
And that may have knocked him out of range. It's going to be about a 43-yarder from there.
So Will Holder's longest is 34 this year, which means they would need to be to the 17. And again, as we mentioned last week, doesn't mean he can't hit from longer than that. Just means he hasn't. Maybe hasn't had the opportunity. But either way, they're not going to take a chance. They're going to go for it from 25. You see the camera shaking? That's the Westside fans stomping their feet, making the whole side of the stadium shake. Barton to the end zone, and incomplete, and Westside holds.
That would have been the backbreaker of all backbreakers, 4th down, if they were able to complete that pass. And Oliver could have, if he comes back to the ball there, he's got it. Westside dodges a bullet. Thanks to the really nice play on 3rd down, though.
So down 21-0, Westside with the one thing they needed, a big defensive stand. And the Patriots will take over at their own 25-yard line.
They've got to figure out a way to move the football here. Their defense did their job, got to stop.
Stone, lots of time, now less time, and has to get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't try to. I mean, he had Comga in the flats. I'm a little surprised he didn't take a little more time there and try to complete the pass. He just threw it away. Yeah, but doesn't lose any yardage. Stops the clock.
Still just about 6 minutes to go here in quarter number 2.
You don't need to get all 21 points. If you can even get a score here, that would be great. They've got to get something going, though, and figure out something offensively.
And this play is blown dead. Catch the call.
Second down.
Well, the penalty.
Hey, everybody get set.
They're starting to pile up for Westside as well.
You know, this reminds me of watching the Georgia-Alabama game as a Georgia grad. And, you know, they went down 28-0. And then they started scoring, and you kind of got that. You were like, okay, all right,
yeah,
let's get to 7
here,
get to 14. All right, now we're down 7. It's halftime. Oh, okay, and that's the mentality you have to have as Westside right now. It's like there's a long way to go here. You get 1 or 2 scores before the half. This is a different ball game.
I told you we were in, because of the hurricane, we were in Alpharetta in a hotel, and I had to tell my wife, like, look, this is our second option. We have no power at home. Don't get us kicked out of the hotel yelling. She was not a happy camper. She was yelling for anger in the first half and happiness in the second for a while at least.
She yelling at you or?
No, she was yelling at officials,
the
Georgia coaches, players.
That's where she practices.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. She don't need any practice yelling at me. She's a pro at that.
3rd and 13. And so this is a big, big third down for Westside.
I would just assume, of course, they cancel the college football season.
Yeah,
as a Florida State fan, I'm fine.
I understand, my friend.
Start over next year.
Understand. All right, Stone again with a lot of time. And that closed down quickly. I believe it was Oliver. No, it wasn't Oliver that came up and got him. That was Marcus Wheeler, who leads this team with 7 tackles for loss, make it 8 with the sack. And again, Harlem's defense just absolutely dominating this game.
Yeah, this is a weird night looking at this game and some of the scores from around the state, man. This is a strange night in high school football.
So that's 5 possessions, 17 yards.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, this is a team that averaged 31 points a game coming in. Now, they've played a few teams that you would expect they would score some points.
And AB, I'm going to steal your line here, but Harlem is about to get great field position once again. All right, 21-0 Harlem. 4:14 left to play in the first half here on Game Night Live. Injury update from Kira down on the field, and it is not a good one for Westside. R.J. Harris, the senior lineman who we saw earlier in the broadcast walking up the stairs back to the locker room, is out for the rest of the game. She'll get an update from Coach Hutto at halftime, but we are told he is not to return. Meanwhile, it's 1st and 10, and the Bulldogs start from their 47-yard line, and that was pickup of 3.
That was another play that could have went Westside's way. They were right there on Anderson and unable to secure the ball. Anderson's able to snatch it out of the air.
They'll give him 4. So 2nd and 6 from the 43-yard line. Barton heaves. Barton had a man knocked out of bounds at the last second. Josh Crawford with a nice defensive job back there for Westside.
Yeah, that's 2 great athletes going at it, Futrell and Crawford. That ball just hung up a little bit on. It's almost like hitting one. You were talking about the 9-irons earlier. It's like hitting one up in the and letting the wind get it and knock it down. And made it a little bit late getting there and allowed Crawford to come over and make a play. So 3rd down and about 6 here.
Big 3rd down for this Westside defense.
Trying to draw them off sides.
Barton to throw again. He'll have the 1st down. It's Oliver. Still on his feet. And he'll be dragged down at the 30-yard line. Big conversion for the Bulldogs.
Well, big conversion, terrible for Westside, because now you've got to somehow, you can't, again, just like last drive, you can't give up any more points here.
How many coaches in the area watch this Harlem team and go, hey, Coach, why don't you send us one of those quarterbacks? You don't need all those.
Yeah. Tell you, this kid's look good, Barton.
From the Westside 30, Tyler with a head of steam. Pick up 9.
Nothing, I mean, just a basic play. They just pitch it there, and Harlem's able to seal the edge and get Tyler open for a nice run. This Harlem team's hard to figure out. You know, last week they really struggled mightily. First game back, but, you know, it was the first game back for a lot of teams, last week.
Well, they struggled at times in that Greenbrier game the first week. They looked great at some points and then really struggled in the second half.
Tried the back shoulder throw to Oliver, who comes up a little bit, limping a little bit.
I do think the offense, though, looks the best I've seen it with Barton in there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Tyler, you got Futrell, you got Oliver, you got Anderson, you got some weapons, Baylor Davis when he comes in. Barton has looked really, really good.
I remember Mark Boyder's halftime interview with Kira last week, and she asked him, what do you have to do to get back in this game? And his answer was, score on this drive. I feel like his halftime interview might be a little longer this week.
Yeah, a little bit. Baylor Davis comes in, direct snap here. He, of course, has a touchdown pass on the little jump pass earlier.
He'll keep. He'll have it. First down, Harlem, inside the red zone. The in-motion red zone go the Bulldogs at the 19-yard line.
Hey, getting back to the QBs, but Arroyo definitely gives you an athletic dynamic, and he has a big arm, but Barton is so accurate.
And he's got an arm, and he's looked good running the ball. Remember, he's got a touchdown run tonight as well. And he had another nice run where they grabbed his face mask, so they tacked on some yards to that one.
And another, close to another first down. It's going to be about 2 yards short. But they're picking up 7, 8, 9 yards on every single play.
One of these leaders on this Westside defense, whether it's Devon or, maybe Small, somebody's going to have to step up and make a play and try and somehow, some way get a stop on this possession.
From the 11. Barton avoids pressure and just gets rid of it.
So that'll make it third down.
3rd and 3. We were told that one was intended for Kira Goldstein, and she did not get out of the way.
Who had second quarter?
we got to give her some extra practice on the jugs machine so she can catch these things. They're trying to get her a pass.
Or just get out of the way.
Now, I saw Nathan down on the field before the game talking to the quarterback. Did he make him do that? That's the question.
Timeout on the field with 1:46 left to play in the first half. 21-0. Well, things have not gone Harlem's way tonight, but boy, did they go their way back in May. Let's take you back to May 17th. Harlem won its 2nd straight baseball state championship. I know every time we have Harlem on Game Night Live, we talk about this, but hey, you know what? It never gets old, and they deserve it.
It is hard to win them. Yeah.
If you were with us last Friday night, you saw the ring ceremony live on Game Night Live, and here they are sweeping Calvary Day in Rome back in May. 65-2 over the last 2 seasons, a 20-game postseason win streak. And how about Jimmy Lewis, our good friend, the legend, just finished his 48th season, 7 state titles, and tells us he has no plans to retire. If you saw him and the energy he had during his interview with Kira last week at halftime, you understand why.
State title in 1979 as head coach, and then another one in 2024. That is amazing.
Tyler's going to be a couple of yards short, and you would assume this is go-for-it territory for Mark Boyder.
Yeah, this is really a big play. Even if Westside doesn't score in this half, if you get a stop here and get the ball and run the clock out, that's a win based on where Harlem is and the way they've been able to move the football. And Harlem's just letting the clock run here. So 4th and short. did not bring Davis in this time. You would assume it would go to Tyler, but they might open up the playbook here. Try to catch. Oh, and you got movement for Harlem.
So let's see if that changes Mark Boyder's thinking.
Well, I think he still probably go for it. I don't know. Let's see. It's going to be.
Well, you're within Holder's range.
Yeah.
But it appears they're going to up 21-0. If it was a closer game, maybe.
Yeah.
Up 21-0, I think he's going to.
It changes the play call, obviously. You know, before you probably give it to Tyler here. Probably going to throw it.
Probably run this down and take a timeout here.
That's true. They could run it down and bring Holder out. Let's see.
Well, we just mentioned that state championship Harlem baseball team, and one of the key components of that is Will Holder, star pitcher.
He was 11-0 and hit .375 as a sophomore when they won the title in 2023. Last year, unfortunately for him, he was one of their best players all year. But he got a really serious infection, was hospitalized, and missed a big portion of the playoffs. He was able to come back in the state championship series and pinch hit and hit, but he wasn't able to pitch. But that shows you how good they were. Their best pitcher from the previous years, not even in the postseason, and they still win the title and really were never touched in the playoffs.
And it does appear that Holder has entered the chat. He is in the huddle. And the black sleeves you see in the far right corner of your screen. Number 15.
Big homecoming crowd here tonight. Place is packed on the west side.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to see. They should be. I know they're not getting what they wanted so far in the game, but the fact that Westside was 6-0 coming into tonight, it should be packed. They're also 4-0 in the region.
It's going to be a 33-yarder. Holder from 33.
You got it.
And Harlem extends the lead to 24-0. Well, fans, stick around for the Kimberly-Clark halftime show with Kira Goldstein. We're going to hear from our hometown sponsors and take a look at other scores from around the area. And tell you what makes Westside High School so special. That's all coming up on the Kimberly-Clark halftime show. And one of our sponsors is...
Speaking of sponsors, did you know working at McDonald's can help you pay for your college? That's right. Through their Archways to Opportunity program, you can get funds for college and even earn a free degree through some universities. Learn more at archways2opportunity.com or apply at your local restaurant. I don't know if that one fits McDonald's. I'm loving it, but I can't not say it.
Can't not say it. You got to do it, man.
I'm loving it.
There you go. So Westside will have 28 seconds to try to make something of this first half, which has been all Bulldogs.
Yeah, and I almost wonder if you just take it and just go to the locker room here. And you don't want anything disastrous to happen. You're already down big. There goes Crawford, though.
Crawford across the 35 at the 36-yard line. So 22 seconds and one timeout. I should check that. 2 timeouts for Westside.
Well, your best field position you've had, so maybe you do take a shot with Crawford. I'm usually aggressive, and even I think here you just sit on the football. I know the fans won't like it, but they'll like that much more than they would like going down 31-0 at the half if you turn it over or something.
Well, if you ever saw Varsity Blues. And they'll play it conservative and get to the locker room down 24-0. And the bad news for the Patriots is they have to kick off again to start the second half.
Well, a little preview of the halftime show with some scores. Greenbrier was down 30-0 to Effingham County, ran back at kickoff with 2 seconds left in the half, 30-7.
And that could be some inspiration for this Westside team as they go to the locker room down 24-0. But Harlem, Harlem, first half, Kira Goldstein with Harlem head coach Mark Boyder.
Coach, this team looks vastly different than last week. What was your message to the team that got them looking so different tonight?
Thank goodness we looked different than what we did last week, and that's what we talked about all week, was just being better, getting better, taking it one moment at a time, and so far we've been able to do that. We've got a long way to go.
Your quarterback situation tonight, are we going to see multiple quarterbacks? Because it's really been working for you, especially in that passing game.
Yeah, it has. I mean, we're going to go with our quarterback, and we're going to continue to do the Wildcat stuff like we're doing. We've got some injuries at quarterback, so we're having to make some adjustments, but so far it's working. Hopefully that'll continue in the second half. On
the other side of the ball, defense has really stepped up, holding, obviously, Westside scoreless. How pleased are you with their performance?
I've been very pleased with them tonight and all year. Our defense is the backbone of our team, and as long as they continue to give our offense good field position, we'll have opportunities to score.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll send it back up to you and get the halftime show rolling.
All right, Kira, thanks. Coach Boyder, thanks for the time. See, I told you the halftime interview would be longer this time.
Yes, man. Talkative, Mark Boyder.
Appreciate it, Coach. 24-0. Harlem leads Westside. The Kimberly Clark halftime show is next on Game Night Live.
Welcome back to Game Night Live, where Harlem leads Westside 24-0. Right now it is halftime, and I am on the sideline with my friends Ian and Darla from In Motion. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and then tell us a little bit about what In Motion does?
Hey, I'm Darla Keene. I'm the general manager of the Evans Club. We do assisted stretching. So what does that mean? That means you get on our table and we do all the work for you. You just lay there and relax, and we do the work.
I'm Ian Skurlock. I'm the regional manager for In Motion. I do the CSRA. And yeah, she's absolutely right. We do all the work for you, so you just relax and we take care of any kind of pain or stiffness you're dealing with.
What are some of the benefits of assisted stretching that people can come in and receive from you?
So, I mean, it's circulation, improved posture. We relieve pain, so helps you sleep better. There's not anything that we can't help you with.
Yeah, I mean, sciatic pain, things like increased recovery from post-surgery, just literally, if you name it, we deal with it, though.
I assume that you have some clientele that are athletes, being an assisted stretching program. Can you tell us a little bit about how athletes specifically can benefit?
Well, for an athlete, you got to look at just the recovery, you know, so that you're not so sore day in and day out doing all the stuff that you do. Your body has to recover. And then also just making sure that you don't injure yourself. It's preventative. It's a huge benefit.
Yeah, it's injury prevention. Recovery, injury prevention is keeping them on the field to do what they do best.
There are so many people that can benefit from what you guys offer. Where can people go to find more information and reach out to you?
So you can go to Facebook, you can go to Instagram, and then you can go to our website. It's InMotionWellnessStudio.com.
And what is the most rewarding part of working for In Motion?
It's just getting to see people actually change their lives. You know, like we deal with a lot of pain, so seeing them come to us with pain, leave without, it makes it worthwhile for us.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for what you do for the community and for talking to me tonight, guys, Darla and Ian. Right now, we're going to take a look at the Westside Band, and then we'll be right back. Awesome. Thank you. right, that does it from the sideline for now, but don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back to Game Night Live. I'm Kira Goldstein down here on the sideline now, joined by some friends from McDonald's, Yolanda and Akira. And Yolanda, why don't we start with you and you can tell us a little bit about what you do at McDonald's.
Okay. My name is Yolanda. I am a ROE, that is a restaurant operations expert. So what I do is I travel to different restaurants that we have locally in our area, and I go and work with the general manager and also their teams.
Awesome. And Akira, what do you do?
I'm a second assistant at McDonald's, and I run the production area, and I also run the profit for the job.
There are so many benefits that students can have when they work for McDonald's. Can you tell me a little bit about why a student should apply?
Well, with McDonald's, we do have the scholarship, which is called the Archways Opportunity. So those that choose to come and work with us, they are able to get, a scholarship with McDonald's. Same thing, back up.
That's okay. I wasn't sure if you wanted to add anything. I want to just give everybody an opportunity. All right, well, I know that McDonald's gives a lot back to the community, especially with football games like this. What is the best part about working with the community?
Well, with McDonald's, we do donate to the Ronald McDonald House charity. So, when you come to McDonald's, we ask you to round up. Those dollars actually go to the kids at the Children's Hospital. So it helps us feed families and help them, stay with their children while they're here in Augusta.
Incredibly important.
We're going to ask you a lot about round up, so just round up.
What is the best part for you about getting to work with the community?
I feel like you get to know the community a little more. Like you get the relationship between the customers. So I feel like I just like to interact with the customers.
I love that. All right, well, last question. Everyone loves McDonald's, and I'm sure that there is something special going on right now. You want to tell us a little bit about some specials?
Yeah, so right now we are introducing the Chicken Big Mac. So if you haven't had one, come on down and try one of those Chicken Big Macs at one of our areas. And we have a pumpkin pie out, and it tastes just like sweet potato pie, so yes.
Pumpkin pie season. I love it. Thank you, ladies, so much. We're going to check back in on the band, and then we'll get back to the game a little bit later, guys. Let's take a look. All right, we'll be right back. Another big region matchup here on Game Night Live. Undefeated Westside hosting Harlem, who was 4-1. This was not really the game that we were expecting, with Harlem leading 24-0 at the half. When I spoke to head coach Mark Boyder at halftime, he said that he's so proud and thank goodness that his team doesn't look like they did last week. I got a chance to talk to him after he walked away, after we went on camera. We tossed it up to John and AB up in the booth, and I was just chatting with him as he walked off the field. He said that he's really been honing in on a couple of things. They need to play with more discipline, they need to play cleaner ball, and they need to play more aggressive ball. He said that that was something that he talked about all week in practice. He was really hoping that his team would come out and show it, and they did. Meanwhile, on the Westside side of the ball, this is not what we were expecting to see from them. They averaged 9 yards per game, giving up 9 yards per game to the other team. Ooh, we got some band behind me. All right. They average giving up 9 yards per game to the other team. So that's something something that we are not used to seeing from Westside, trailing 24-0. When we return, we're going to hear from head coach Lee Hutto and see if there's something that he can do to get his team moving in the second half to make this a ball game. We're going to head up to John and AB. They're going to give us some more stats, and then we'll hear from head coach Lee Hutto in just a little bit. John, AB, take it away.
All right, Kira, thanks, and stay safe down there. The band's coming for you. AB, and to Kira's point, the first half stats definitely bear that out. Some of this is just unbelievable, including the starting field position for these two teams.
Yeah, that is a crazy stat. Westside is starting at their own 23, while Harlem is starting at Westside's 43 on their side of the field. And then the rushing yards, you've got Comga, one of the best runners in the state, coming off a 250-yard game. -7 yards rushing and 17 total yards for Westside. A stunner.
That's almost impossible to believe because Westside is one of the best running football teams in our area, as you said.
Yeah, before the game started, I was telling you guys before we went on the air, Comga needed 154 to get to 1,000 through Game 7, and instead he's got 5 yards, but the team -7.
Yeah, just a complete testament to this Harlem defense and the job they've done tonight. You look at the total yards, everything in favor of Harlem, as you might expect with a 24-0.
Yeah, every stat.
Score.
Usually there's something for one team, but if you look at everything, pass yards, rush yards, time of possession, penalties, everything, turnovers, everything favoring Harlem right now.
And I'm sure this score is raising some eyebrows across not only our area but the state of Georgia tonight. But we've got some other games that are some eyebrow raisers as well tonight.
Yeah, and I'm getting messages during the game, and man, there are some wild ones.
Yeah, so Lakeside, Brunswick. Lakeside 7-0 down at 8th-ranked Brunswick.
7-1 Brunswick
down there. So Lakeside got the started scoring first. Ty Jones threw a 17-yard pass to Brandon Grissom for a touchdown. Went up 6-0, missed extra point. 20 unanswered points by Brunswick. And then we come back and we have Ty Jones with a 70-yard touchdown run to cut it to 20-13. And Brunswick scored again right before half, so 27-13 at the half.
And then the Greenbrier game, also in that region, Greenbrier's playing an Effingham County team that Lakeside just scored 58 on, 58-38. And they've also just coming off a win over Greenbrier as Lakeside. Well, Greenbrier tonight taking on Effingham County. Huge game in terms of playoff implications. Greenbrier was behind 30-0 in that game, but they ran a kickoff back with 2 seconds left in the half for a touchdown. So that one went to the half at 30-7 Effingham County.
Yeah, we have Thompson up 14-6 on Laney. We got Statesboro up 21-13 on Evans. Evans trying to fight and claw to stay alive somehow in this playoff race in the region.
And we have them next week on Game Night Live as they continue that fight.
And then Barnwell only has the one loss, is up 13-7 over Hampton County. Strom Thurman hammering Pelion 41-0. And Baldwin up 6-0. Really good Baldwin team up 6-0 on Aquinas.
Yeah, in Midland Valley, they only have one win, but they played a brutal schedule and lost a lot of close games. They are crushing Aiken tonight, 42-0 in that one. Midland Valley on top.
So arguably the two biggest storylines, I would say, of this high school football season so far in our area. Westside, Lakeside, both unbeaten coming into tonight. Both trailing. We'll see what happens. We'll take one more break. We'll come back and wrap up the Kimberly-Clark halftime show with Harlem leading Westside 24-0. 24-0, Harlem leading Westside in this battle for what a lot of people would feel like probably a battle for, if nothing else, a home playoff game maybe coming out of this region. And Westside comes in undefeated for the first time, 6-0, first time since 2022. I keep saying 2022. It's been way longer than that.
1982.
They're trying to go 7-0 for the first time since 1982, but right now it is an uphill battle, 24-0.
Well, I mean, the game started with a surprise. The coin toss, Westside wanted the football. And, man, I think they might do that differently if they could do it again, because from there it was downhill.
Yeah, can we get the QBs for the first half? So Barton had a really good first half. He was 8 of 14, 61 yards and a touchdown. Not a ton of yards, but didn't really need to throw for a ton of yards in that half. Stone was 3 of 7 for 24 yards passing.
And our QBs by the quarter brought to you, as always, by Culpeper Lumber, Ace Hardware.
And, John, we talked about it being homecoming night tonight. My dad, Sam Edwards, who loves watching the games at home, 50 years ago graduated from Westside in '74.
Sam, there you go.
So happy anniversary, as it were.
Well, I would have loved to have heard the speech that Coach Hutto gave his team at halftime. I mean, what do you know, they've got to just forget that half and somehow come out and try and flip this game around.
Yeah, I don't think it was probably one of those yelling speeches.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, let's
we're better than this.
It is
first
what it is.
drive.
We know we're better than this. Let's get out there and do it.
And we're about to find out because Kira's got him down on the field.
Coach, trailing at halftime, what was your message to the team?
Well, we just got to fight. You know, we got to find a way to get back in the game. We got to get out here and get a stop and try to get our offense going. So we just got to fight.
What adjustments do you want to see from your defense to lock up Harlem's pass game?
Well, we just got to be sound in our coverage. We got to try to pressure the quarterback and just clean up a few things on the back end.
Can we get an injury up to Harris? I know he exited the game and we haven't seen him come back.
We think possibly a dislocated shoulder.
Awesome. Thank you for the time, Coach. Appreciate it. Guys, we're going to send it up to you and then we'll get this game rolling.
All right, Kira, thanks. So not great news for Harris, but I tell you what, Lee Hutto, that's not an easy interview to
Kudos
do.
To
down
him,
24
man.
to nothing. And
He's
we
one of
worked
the
with
best.
him. He was our Border Bowl coach for Team Georgia and Border Bowl 10, one of the easiest to work with here in the area, and so we appreciate the time and the honest answers as Westside tries to get back into this game. But right now, it is all Harlem and the Dogs about to get the ball to start the second half. And off we go.
Well, one thing that's better already is where Harlem's going to start their offensive possession because they've been starting on the west side of the field, and they won't do that here.
Yeah, Harlem's going to say, wait a second, there's another side of the field
Yeah,
over here?
wait, what are we doing here? We can't see the end zone from here.
Yeah, if you went to get a snack or something or use the facilities at the half, we mentioned that the average starting position for these two offenses is just staggering how different it is for Harlem. And Nathan, where does Harlem been starting?
Harlem has started at Westside's 43.
Unbelievable.
And Westside has started at their own 23.
Well, Harlem will start from its own 20 to begin the second half. And a flag flies.
Now, 7 penalties in the first half on Westside. I'm sure that Coach wants to clean that up, but here's their 8th penalty of face mask. Second face mask of the game.
That is not how Lee Hutto wanted to come out of the locker room.
Then did they signify whether it was a 5 or 15?
I believe it's a 5-yard.
Okay. Well,
there seems to be some confusion amongst the officials as well.
So it is a 5-yard, so not a personal foul.
This will be first and about, well, let's call it 1st and 5. Why not? And the Bulldogs to the air. And it's Futrell who had the great highlight reel touchdown catch earlier in the year. Well, technically, I guess that's true. But earlier in the game.
If I'm Coach Hutto, obviously you're worried how your team's playing down. I'm worried more so how easy it's been for Harlem. I mean, that was an easy pitch and catch there.
And another set of downs for the Bulldogs. And it's Tyler. And he'll move the chains. Pickup of 12. And just like that, the Bulldogs are into Westside territory once again in a Hawk Law Group first down at the 46-yard line.
I got a message from a viewer, used to play football at Evans, that watched the game last week, and he said, man, this is a different Harlem team than I saw on Game Night Live last week, and he's right.
You bet. There's more of the Westside defense we're accustomed to seeing, dropping Tyler for a short gain.
Also got to credit Aquinas for that because they had something to do with it. Their defense was outstanding last week.
They had a great plan.
Yep.
Yeah, Aquinas' defense really kept them in that ball game early.
Yeah, Jaden Worth, 15 tackles last week, 6 quarterback hurries, 5 tackles for loss.
Yeah, but if you're Harlem, if you just score on the possession you started on the 20-yard line in Aquinas territory, you win that football game.
Barton Another first down. And you're right, AB. They're just making it look really easy. Ronald Oliver on the reception here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you're concerned at the score and all that, but I'm really alarmed at how easy it seems like Harlem, some of these plays, they're wide open.
Harlem giving the Hawk Law Group its money's worth with all these first downs.
Yeah, they've got Westside on their heels, really the whole game.
Trickeration, Barton, Westside not buying it, and that's the defensive play Lee Hutto has been looking for.
Yeah, 4 different Patriots right there as they tried a little trick play and backfires on them.
Looks like Nick Smalls was one of the main guys in. Again, he's the leading tackle for loss guy.
Yeah,
on this
Xavier
Patriot
Cochran
squad.
was there as well.
So easy to say when it doesn't work, but just didn't need that right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everything's been pretty easy. You don't need to trick them.
So 2nd and 16 from the 42. And again, they run so many different backs at you. And that was Martin again, who had a couple of carries in the first half. And he'll pick up 7, bring up, still going to be 3rd and long, but 3rd and manageable.
Well, this is a huge possession for Westside. I mean, if they have any glimmer of hope here, obviously there's plenty of football left, but I mean, they've got to turn this thing around quick. You need to stop here for sure.
Barton with time. And it's going to be out of bounds, but that was very close to the big turnaround that Westside would have wanted.
Yeah, Crawford made a great athletic play, but just out of bounds.
Yeah, Barton really, really late on that throw. He had him open really early on that play and just held the ball too long.
So if nothing else, if you're Westside, well, let's see here before I say anything.
You can see the future, John. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you are. I mean, come on, man. Why are you holding out on us?
I say they are going to go for it on 4th down, and they are going to throw it to Holcomb.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, we'll never know. What a play by Westside's defense. And that is a very large human being that got through there. J.P. Martin.
Yeah, J.P. Martin in there. Also, Devon was there as well. That's what Westside needed. And you see Coach Hutto pretty happy, just what the doctor ordered for the Patriots.
So a turnover on downs gives the ball back to the Patriots.
Yeah, and they were just humming along on that drive till the trick play attempt.
Yeah, that was just 3 or 4 different Patriots beating their man up front. Good job by Westside's defense.
And if you can hear us in the truck, we have lost all communication with you. So just so you know, we're doing the best we can up here, and it's 2nd and down now.
So 2nd down and about 8.
Oh, no. Fumble on the exchange.
Yeah.
Well, the Patriots get it back. That was almost disaster for Westside.
Well, 3rd down and 11.
The 3rd and 11. The Patriots will go for it all. And nothing there. And that's just been the story of the night for this Patriot offense.
And it's a shame because Crawford had a step there, even though there were multiple defenders guarding him. And Stone showed you he got an arm, just overthrew him.
Any thought from you for going for this here? I mean, you're down 3 possessions.
And you're not a quick strike offense.
Yeah, you're not, but I think you have to kick it at least once. Maybe because again, they could fumble the return, whatever. A lot of stuff could happen. Although the punts have been such low line drive punts, it doesn't give them much of a chance. Although this one's a little better.
So we'll try to flip the field, and Harlem will take over at the 33-yard line, and we will take a break with them. 7:19 left to play in the third. $7:19 to play in quarter number 3. And Harlem now back on the attack, up 24-0. And on first down, it's Tyler. And this is the Westside defense that we came to expect tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. These last few plays, they look great. They need some kind of spark, whether the big pass we saw them try, maybe it's a strip fumble, something. They got to get something to get the crowd back into it, get the team pumped up.
And it is a great crowd that has turned out tonight to support this Westside team as it tries to go 7-0 for the first time since 1982.
Is it? And if I'm not mistaken, is this win 300 all time for Westside if they were to win tonight somehow?
And so I was just about to mention that. Yeah.
But were you going to say that? I stole
doing
your
a
thunder.
deep dive into the research, AB. Yeah. So Westside, a win tonight would be number 300 in program history.
I just was looking up some scores, and I happened to see that they were over. I was wondering how they were, whether they were over 500.
The bad news is your trivia question is name all 299 other.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Starting from 1970.
And go. I was going to say something earlier, that 1982 team, but for some reason I'm thinking he might have been earlier. But, they had that great quarterback, Mike Kelly, and I think he might have been 79, but he could have been 82. I'm just not 100% sure.
Well, that 82 team, 83 team, they had some great teams in the mid-'80s here.
Well, and then the late 80s, they had some phenomenal players as well. Joe Ross, who played at Georgia Southern, was a tremendous running back at Westside in the late 80s. Greg Kristolovich was their outstanding quarterback, also a good baseball player. That was the years where Westside was tremendous. Westside had a good run in baseball, obviously, as well. And as a matter of fact, 87 and 88, while Evans was winning championships, Westside won back-to-back titles in 87 and 88, led by Terry Childers, who went on to lead the Georgia Bulldogs, or help lead them, starting catcher for the 1990 World Champs, or World Series champs, college baseball.
Childers' family's produced a few good baseball
Just
players.
a few. Matter of fact, good luck to Will, because he is playing in the Arizona Fall League, and I think he's got a legit chance to make it in the big leagues. But on the Peoria team in the Arizona Fall League, 3 local players or people. You've got Will Childers from Lakeside. You've got Hayden Harris from Grovetown, and one of the coaches is the hitting instructor, Wilkinson from that played at Evans.
Harlem backs up. Going to be 2nd and 14 from the 42-yard line. And Barton swings it out on the far side, I should say, to Anderson. And who made the play there?
That was a great play, fighting off a block. I think it was Cochran. He was being blocked by Oliver. He fought off the block, strung the play out, and made the tackle. Tremendous, tremendous play there.
So whatever Lee Hutto said to this Westside defense at the half has hit home.
And I want to give credit to the right person. I'm not sure if it was Cochran over there or if it was number 4, Ogden. Somebody made a great play over there, fighting off a block and making the tackle.
Third and 12. And it's Martin. And he'll be well short.
Well, Martin better be lucky that coming through there trying to break things up, Xavier Devon missed him on the blitz, because he came flying in and just missed Martin as he came through, but still a stop for the Patriots here.
Yeah, another stop for Westside to start this second half, and Holder on to kick it away for the Bulldogs. Good bounce for Harlem, and it'll roll dead inside the 20, and Westside will have a long way to go starting from its own 18-yard line. Well, you want to do the Game Night Live trivia question?
Of course.
All right, why not? Let's roll.
I'm on a one-game winning streak. What are you talking about?
Well, we mentioned to start the game, this is the 17th meeting between these two teams. Harlem leads the all-time series 10-6. Harlem has won the last 4. These two teams last met back in 2019. These are all context clues for you, AB. So who was the last Westside head coach to beat Harlem?
Ooh, okay. That's a good one.
Give you that answer in the fourth quarter. Think about it at home. In the meantime, Westside takes over at its own 17-yard line. And Stone fires near side. Crawford fighting off tacklers up to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, he's great in the open field. We just hadn't had a chance to see it tonight, and we get a chance there. Really dynamic player.
Yeah, 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and that's only the second first down for Westside.
That is amazing. A team averaging 31 points a game coming in.
Testament to this Harlem defense.
Yeah, and Coach Porter said it. They've been doing this all year. I mean, even last week they held Aquinas to 12 points. Just unable to get the win there.
So new set of downs for the Patriots from their own 38-yard line. Stone again fires, this time in and out of the hands of Nick's. So was that Smalls?
It does look like, yeah, it was Smalls. I'm just surprised. I mean, who would have thought Comga would not even have 10 yards at this point? And there's a player down for Westside.
Yeah, Comga has been nominated for our Football Friday Night Player of the Week at least 3 times this year.
Well, I mean, last week, 13 carries, 250 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
He's only had 8 carries tonight, but has 7 yards.
That is amazing. He was averaging, I think, over 7 yards a carry coming. No, he was averaging over 10 yards a carry. Last year, he averaged over 7 a carry.
Speaking of our Football Friday Night Player of the Week, you still have time to vote till 11 o'clock at WJBF.com. You can see our nominees, and we'll announce the winner on Football Friday night at 11:35.
Well, Westside, big possession here. They need to move the football. They got to get some points if they're going to, scare Harlem or give them a sweat or anything here in this game.
2nd and 10. Stone flushed. Gets rid of it.
Yeah, just throws it away, so it's going to be 3rd down. 3rd and 10.
And Stone 3 of 7 for just 24 yards passing in the first half. Just not able to get anything going on offense, Westside. Big down for the Patriots. Need to keep this drive going. Stone fires, complete. And going to be about 2 yards shy.
That was Ogden. Well, I was wondering if you were going to go for it on 4th, even if you didn't complete the pass. So they're definitely going to go for it here, I would think.
I was going to say, this is the question Nathan asked on the last drive. And I think now.
Well, 4th and 10, maybe, I don't know. But 4th and 2 or 3 or whatever it's going to be, yes, you have to.
Long one.
But what do you do?
Yeah, I mean.
Try to catch him off guard, throw? Or do you just try to bully your way through for that 1 yard?
Well, they just haven't been able. They've got negative rushing yards. I don't know how you do that.
Well, Lee Hutto's wondering the same thing.
This is a tough spot. Do you try to do some sort of screen pass to Comga? I mean, you would think run the football here, and I know that's what Lee Hutto wants to do. That's his mentality, but they just haven't been able to do anything on the ground.
You know, look, he hasn't had a big night tonight, but I think we know he's one of the best players in the area, Kamga. I think you have to put the ball in your best player's hands.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't know if is he even in the game, though.
We going direct snap to number 1 here?
Yeah.
And Crawford's in.
No, it's not. It's they got look who they've got direct snap to. I mean, it looks like Mean Joe Green back there.
You've got Brandon Lyons,
Crawford,
the large lineman, back there, number 75. Well, this is going to be interesting.
Oh no, it is going to be Crawford. Lyons is going to be the lead blocker. You might want to get closer to the line. Crawford's pretty fast.
Well,
and if that's against Westside, it's going to be 4th and 6.
And it appears it is.
And that's a shame because it looked like they were going to easily get it with Crawford. I don't know that I don't go to the direct snap with Crawford anyway. He's so fast, and at least you're getting the ball in his hands.
I don't know that I don't go to the direct snap to Brandon Lyons.
Well,
not now, 4th
Yeah.
and 7, but it was 4th and 1.
4th and 1, maybe you do, yeah.
I don't know if I punt this football here, though.
Oh, no, I don't punt it. I would be going for it.
Yeah, if you punt this football, there's no chance unless you have some major turnovers that you're winning this football.
And again, that's what they're hoping for, I'm sure. But
well,
this was the best punt of the night for sure.
Great kick.
Great kick.
Wow.
Great bounce for Westside. Will roll at the 11-yard line. So we'll see if that pays off for Lee Hutto and the Patriots. But down 24-0 in Harlem. And you would think on this now they're in just take your time mode.
Yeah. Well, this is where Westside, we were talking about making a play and stripping a ball or getting a turnover. This is where you need it, right here in this part of the field.
Yeah, I would. Kind of shocked where they are on the field. Maybe we're not seeing a little bit of Davis. Kind of direct snap to get him away from the goal line. But Barton's been really accurate, really good tonight.
Now what?
Well, after this play, we'll tell you about our friends from the Georgia Army National Guard.
And Tyler on first down.
Good job by Westside. Yeah.
Tell you what, this defense has been a different defense in the second half.
Well, the Georgia Army National Guard offers you much more than what you're thinking. They get you a degree with money for school, learn job skills that translate to the civilian world, make bonds that last a lifetime, and earn pride for life. When you become a Guard soldier, your family will thank you, your country will thank you, and your future will owe you. The Georgia Army National Guard.
From the 9 on 2nd and 12.
Yeah, this is the Westside defense we're used to seeing.
Again, allowing just 9 points a game.
Yeah, that looked odd from the beginning there for the offense. So I think that's going to back them up.
False start offense. 5 yard. Hold.
I think it's a false start.
This is where you need a defensive. You need to make a play. If you're going to have any chance to win this game, you got them backed up around their own 5. You absolutely need to come up with some sort of strip or turnover here.
And if you're Harlem and you're quarterback and something goes crazy wrong here, just take the safety.
Yeah.
Do not give up a touchdown.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 3rd and long. By the way, see number 44 there for Harlem in the middle of the crowd, wearing his helmet is black.
Yep.
And it's larger than the others, and then you have the regular red Harlem helmets. Yeah, the great shot of that by our camera crew. That's the new safety helmets that they're allowed to wear. They've been allowed to wear those in practice for a couple of years, but they're allowed to wear them in games now. And it's just an extra layer of protection from We've had so many concussion issues in football and things of that nature. So you'll see that from time to time on different teams. So if you're wondering what that is, that's the answer. Just adds an extra layer of protection for certain players. And on 3rd and 17, that's going nowhere, but it will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. So if you missed the 3rd quarter, you really didn't miss a whole lot, because it was 24-0 at the half, and it is 24-0 after 3. Harlem all over Westside on Game Night Live. Well, 12 minutes to decide this one between Harlem and Westside. If you're just joining us, this is two of the top teams in Region 4 AAA. Harlem 4-1, 2-1 in the region, and Westside 6-0, 4-0 in the region, but needs something to happen here as Holder punts it out of his own end zone. Westside will get great field position, but it's going to roll dead at the 42. So they'll have the ball in Harlem territory, but need a spark.
They won't know what to do this side of the field.
That may not look like a great punt, but angling that ball away from Crawford where he can't return it and getting it out to the 42 is a pretty good job there.
Yeah, at first when he hit it, I thought maybe he caught off the side of his leg, but you're right. He was just not letting Crawford get a return. So Westside, they just need a play here. And, man, credit Harlem. They've done a phenomenal job tonight all the way around, but the defense has just been spectacular.
And on the flip side, it would have been easy for Westside to fold the tents at halftime, down 24-0.
Yeah.
Now they have come out looking like a different, especially on defense.
Yeah, the pressure this half compared to the first half is just amazing.
So Stone, the quarterback for Westside, Jalen Stone, thrown for 600 yards and 4 touchdowns coming into tonight, but just 24 yards in the first half. And he stands at the Harlem 48-yard line out of the shotgun once we get the go-ahead here.
Want to get the QBs in, John?
I would love to.
So Barton is 11 of 18 for 89 yards passing and a touchdown, has 24 yards on the ground and a rushing touchdown, and Stone was 5 of 12 for 53 yards.
Our QBs by the quarter brought to you by Culpeper Lumber, Ace Hardware. And speaking of QBs and quarters, Stone starts the 4th with a toss to the 31-yard line and a fresh set of downs for the Patriots.
Yeah, good-looking play there. Ball a little underthrown, but a nice job by Javon Williams to come back and get the catch.
First time we've called his name tonight. So 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
You just have to think at some point Comga's going to be able to break something. I know they're mostly throwing the ball now because they're the clock, but maybe at some point you get a little draw play to Comga and see if he can get loose.
We figured he would go over 900 yards rushing tonight. He came in with 11 touchdowns, but it's throwing the football time now. And almost a spectacular interception by Futrell, who has 5 of them already on the season. Almost had number 6 there.
Well, and Andre Morgan came across the middle, and that looked like it was going to be a great play for Westside. Just a quick throw across the middle. Morgan saw some footsteps or heard them and couldn't hang on to the football, and he took a shot from Futrell as well. But, man, that could have been a nice play for the Patriots if he was able to hang on there. Easy for me to say going across that middle is not easy.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd ever seen possibly a hit of the game and a pick on the same play.
Yeah. Futrell already, leading candidate probably for play of the game also.
And now it is picked.
Man.
And it is Futrell. He does have number 6. And Harlem will have the ball in Westside territory to the 36.
Just being in the right spot at the right time. Ball tipped. It goes to Futrell, who, man, he's got to be among the state leaders in interceptions. He already has the touchdown catch on the tip ball. Now he's got a tip ball interception. You do those tip drills every game before the game, and that's exactly what happened here. Looks like he's holding his side, but the ball just a little overthrown, and the receiver tipped it up.
Blocking the back on the return, so they're not going to get all that return yardage.
Boy, Futrell is a good-looking athlete.
A junior. So we'll be talking about him for at least another year. Going to back him all the way up to the 30-yard line.
Yes, over a 30-yard penalty there. The block in the back.
But if you're Harlem with the 24-point lead, 10:50 to go, I would imagine you're looking to work clock now. Unless Kyle Shanahan snuck into the building. I'm not bitter.
Well, there he is.
Not saying a word. Hey, you know what? That worked out, though.
Yeah.
That's to Oliver, and he's close to it. Yeah, he'll have the first down.
Well, they're just giving him too much cushion, and, you know, that's an easy completion.
In high school football, like it's easy on the higher levels. High school football, you don't always see it as an easy completion.
Yeah.
Throwing that ball
That's a
all
long
the way
throw.
across the field.
Here goes Tyler.
On first down and another big pickup. And Tyler averages 6 carry, right on that on first down. And we have a player down for Westside.
Well, that does stop the clock, though. 10:14 to go.
It's hard to tell.
78 or 76?
Yes, absolutely. 76 or 78, can't really tell.
If it's 78, it's Andricus Wheeler. If it's 76, it's Blake Hilton. And the Bulldogs take a knee. And the Westside player was able to get off the field with a little help. And Harlem, 2nd and 6. Back to Tyler, stopped at the line.
Well, like you said, now I'm sure Harlem's just going to be content here to try and get out of here as fast as they can now that they've pretty much secured this victory. And it's been a rough night for Greenbrier tonight, 37-7 against Effingham County. And Effingham County, they're torching Greenbrier tonight. They crushed Evans 35-7, but Lakeside put 58 on the board on them. That is amazing. Lakeside struggling tonight with mighty Brunswick. Brunswick looking really good. Their only loss of the year was to Camden County early in the season, and it was a shootout.
My dad's alma mater.
They got a good squad again this year.
As Barton. Oh, and there's this turnover that Westside has been looking for all night long. It is Crawford with his 3rd pick of the season.
Man, real similar play to what happened for with Harlem's interception. Might be a late hit on the quarterback. Ball tipped by Futrell, and Josh Crawford makes the play.
So 2 tip drill interceptions on the last 2 possessions.
See what the flag is going to be. Looks like it's going to be against maybe on the return because Westside's offense is staying out there.
Really the only thing you couldn't really do there is turn the football over.
Yeah, yeah.
And still 9:12 to go. And
Look
from
at
the 29,
Comga.
look at this. Now we get to call Comga's name.
What a run.
And he shows what we expected for this entire game. And you see why he is one of the top players in our area.
Yeah, he's 5'8", about 190 pounds, and you just see him there carrying the crowd with him.
Nori Comga.
Last year, over 1,500 yards rushing and 14 touchdowns as a junior, and this year, ahead of that pace. 11 TDs already, John, in the first 6 games, but tonight he's been shut down pretty much by this Harlem team.
Comga again. First down inside the red zone, the in-motion red zone. Go the Patriots up to the 18-yard line. Heck, give him the 17.
Yeah, the problem is they need a lot of scores, and they need them in a hurry.
You definitely can't just run the ball the entire time and catch up.
Well, and you're going to need either onside kicks or turnovers probably, too.
Lakeside trying to fight back against Brunswick.
41-26 in that game.
Of course, bottled up this time.
Of course, you can get all the scores later tonight. WJBF
Where can you get them?
6. WJBF Football Friday night, baby.
What time?
11:35.
All right. Gianna Cephalou, Graham Lee, Mike O'Neill, Danielle Springsteen, working hard for you back at Television Park. And I don't have internet back from the hurricane yet, so
I don't think you're the only one.
No, I am definitely not. Channel 6 is the only channel I can get with my rabbit ear, so I will definitely be watching Football Friday night. And a pick for the Bulldogs. That's Joseph Clark back there, and that was about as easy an interception you're going to see.
Yeah, severely underthrown ball. I love the idea, love the play call, but the pass was just severely underthrown there.
Well, we knew they were going to have to start taking shots at the end zone at some point. They did, and it goes the way of the Bulldogs. So with 7:13 to play, Bulldogs in control with the football. Good look at Coach Lee Hutto. Not happy with what he's seen tonight, but boy, this team has had such a great season. Still in, no matter what happens here tonight, in great position to not only make the playoffs, but possibly host a playoff game here at the Battlefield. And Harlem just kind of creating chaos in Region 4 AAA after losing to Aquinas last week. And now if they stay in control of this one through the next 6 minutes and 54 seconds and counting, you'll have Aquinas. Of course, Aquinas now, that's the whole, they go into a private school bracket out of this region and the postseason.
And they're down tonight too. Aquinas earlier I saw they were down 13-0.
Some surprising scores.
Yeah, it's been a weird night.
Tyler gets free.
Got to stay
another
in
first
bounds.
down.
Yeah,
flag in late.
Got to stay in bounds there. Might have got the flag on the late hit. I don't know, but you got to stay in bounds, keep that clock running.
Don't forget, in the post-game show, we have our Powerade play of the game, the hit of the game, and the McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. I'll tell you what, I think my money's pretty safe on the play of the game.
Yeah, I agree.
But we'll see. Never know what the truck's going to throw at us. They're a sneaky bunch.
Face mask, defense, 5-yard penalty. That's going to result in a first down after the penalty.
That's the third face mask tonight on the Westside defense. Only one personal foul, though. The other two, the 5-yard variety.
So the Bulldogs will scrimmage from the 31. And it's Oliver, and he'll pick up a quick first down. .547 as we take under 6 minutes to play now. And they'll air it out, looking for Oliver.
Wow.
Overshot him.
A little bit of a surprise there.
So the clock will stop. Good for Westside. One of these teams will be in front of their television sets on Sunday at noon, watching the encore presentation of WJBF Game Night Live each and every Sunday at noon. And right now it is looking like there'll be a lot of Bulldogs tuning in. 24-0. And that'll be another first down for the Bulldogs as they start to salt this clock away. AB, have you been given any thought to the Game Night Live trivia question?
I have, John. I have.
All right. Well,
ready to go?
Well, sure. Why not? So, to refresh your memory, if you weren't with us in the third quarter, who was the last Westside head coach to beat Harlem?
I narrowed it down to 2. And I think Gerald Barnes is going back too far. The other one, one that you forget maybe was at Westside is Steve Hibbets. And that's who I'm going to go with, Steve Hibbets.
Nathan, would you prefer to, or would you like to chime in?
I trust AB.
It was one of those two. I think it's Hibbets, though.
And the answer is
yes.
Steve Hibbets,
baby.
There's a little foreshadowing of us talking about Lakeside because Steve Hibbets is making some history of his own down Furious Ferry Road from us. Even though they're trailing tonight, but that Lakeside team is looking like a force to be reckoned with in that region.
They're playing a great team tonight, and they're hanging in there, 41-26 with still a quarter to go there.
Boy, that's a long drive back from Brunswick.
Oh yeah,
it's long enough if you're just in a car by yourself. It's another thing when you've got 2 buses full of teenage kids.
Yeah, I would just have somebody else bring them back, and I would get a hotel at the beach.
But with that offense with Ty Jones,
Yeah.
nobody's really going to want to face that in the first or second round
No,
of the playoff
God,
because he's
no.
so dynamic.
And
He
it's
can
not
take
just on
over a
offense.
game.
He can take over with the punts, too. I mean, he is – what a year he's having. And I said this last night, and I know we've talked about it. I think he's probably the player of the year so far in the area.
Funny you guys should mention that because he is one of the nominees for our Football Friday Night Player of the Week from last week.
Yeah.
He's actually played another game since then.
And was even better in that
was
game.
even better in that game. So still have until 11 o'clock to vote on that at WJBF.com.
Yeah. What he does offensively and defensively, it's hard to think of another player who's
impacting
more
the
to his
game.
team
Yeah.
than him.
Well, and also,
true MVP.
Also this year, he's only returned 4 punts, but he has over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns on those 4 returns. So. Pretty crazy.
Like, in our text chat, I ask you, who in the world's still punting the ball to him?
Yeah.
It's like Devin Hester when he was in college, and people would still, we're gonna make him beat us. Well, he did. Speaking of punting, Will Holder will kick it away for the Bulldogs.
As they try to salt away this one here, and Crawford's going to let it hit. Yeah, when Deion Sanders was at Florida State.
Oh, we have people running in the stands.
So Westside should have the ball with 3:05 to go, down 24-0.
Which will give us a great chance to recognize our wonderful crew. Did another great job tonight.
Yeah, they did.
And our director, Josh Recor, the leader of the team. On replay, Thaddeus Boreum. Graphics, Micah Webb. Audio, Jeff Singleton. On cameras for us tonight, Cameron Belcher, Brianna Butler, Katron Hugie. Running the field camera for us tonight, Gary Nipple. Our floating camera tonight, Rodrigo Burgos. On the sidelines, running the sideline producer role for us tonight, Kaylee Foster. Red Cap tells the folks when they can play and when we got to go to break. That's Scott Scadden keeping us on the air. And well, it says in the live truck, but he's standing 2 feet in front of me because I can tell he's doing a little bit of everything for us tonight. And that's Ian McLeod keeping us on the air. Back at Master Control is Jarrett Ledger, our production manager. Works hard all week on this. Lauren Fitzgerald and our production timer in the truck, Glory Morrison. We couldn't do it without all of them.
Also got Adam Carson's in here. He was a late addition to
Adam
the squad
Carson's
tonight.
Not on the sheet.
Yeah,
I'll let him handle that.
They called him in out of the. They activated him off the practice squad.
Helping us run the scoreboard tonight.
These days with the fist fight, I'm surprised people ran. They didn't have their phones out filming.
Well,
that's what usually happens.
That's another problem.
Yeah, exactly. At least we're going to be able to resume here in just a moment.
Well, that was not the best moment in Westside history. Let's talk about a great moment in Westside history. We talked about Jimmy Lewis earlier.
Yeah.
The great baseball coach at Harlem. How about Gerald Barnes? We can't come to Westside without talking about Gerald Barnes, the winningest coach in Georgia baseball history, and the baseball field just across the way from us named for the great Gerald Barnes. 900-plus wins before he retired in 2022. We talked about Jimmy Lewis, his 48th season he just completed. 47 seasons for Coach Barnes, 2 state titles, all kinds of region championships. And what I thought was cool, and you're looking at his retirement ceremony after his last game a couple of years ago, the day he retired, Governor Kemp, Brian Kemp of Georgia, sent him a message, and Brian Snitker, the manager of the Atlanta Braves, sent him a video message inviting him to Truist Park.
And he also, his son, of course, is the head baseball coach at Greenbrier. He was also one of the finalists this year for the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. You know, they're trying to make an effort to get more coaches in. He was out of all the coaches in the state in the history of the state. There were about 30 or 35 that that were viewed, and he was one of the final 5 that but didn't quite make it this year. I got a feeling he's going to make it soon. Should be there. He'll definitely be in.
It's funny you mentioned his son being the head coach at Greenbrier. That retirement ceremony we just showed, son couldn't make it. You know why? They were playing Evans that night.
Yeah,
that's
he actually had been helping his son. I don't know if he is going to be able to do it this year, but he's been helping his son over at Greenbrier a little bit in retirement. Has Gerald Barnes, and 47 years. And when we were talking over the people for the Hall of Fame in the committee meeting there, that's what I stressed to him. I go, guys, 47 years at one school and 900 wins. Come on, what are we doing here?
So 47 for Gerald Barnes, 48 now for Jimmy Lewis. That's what, 80, 95 combined years. Those two they competed against each other for the longest of times, but they are great friends. And boy, I have the privilege every year of emceeing the Fellowship of Christian Athletes dinner, where they brought in Tim Tebow, they brought in
Bobby
Jim
Bowles
Kelly last year. It's a great thing. And Jimmy Lewis and Gerald Barnes are always there. They always sit at the same table together, and any time you can sit and listen to those two, just soak up everything you can possibly get.
Yep. It is amazing, though, because back in the day, you just considered they were such competitors, and then you throw Terry Holder in as well, all such competitors, and now they've, you see them together. As a matter of fact, there was actually a hat with Terry wearing a Harlem hat and Jimmy Lewis wearing a Greenbrier hat, and it's neat that they've become such good friends.
Well, and to your point, last year in 2023 when Harlem won that first state baseball championship since 1986, I was in Rome for that game, or that series. And Terry Holder was there in a Harlem hat.
We think they may be calling this football game.
Of course, his grandson was the winning pitcher in the final game 2 years ago.
And, of course, is the kicker and punter here for the Harlem team. So we're waiting to see what's going on here.
Ball game.
That's it?
Yeah, they're calling it.
All right.
No point in getting – look, it's 24-0, 3 minutes left.
And you're backed up on your own 8.
Yeah, no point getting,
It was a long conversation between the officials and the 2 head coaches, but it looks like the end result is going to be the final score, 24-0. And here comes the announcement. All right, so it is now official. This game called with 3:05 left to play. Harlem, a 24-0 winner. And this game is official, called with 3:05 left due to the disturbance in the stands. And so Kira Goldstein is down on the field, and she's looking for Mark Boyder, the victorious head coach of the Harlem Bulldogs.
And to the locker room.
They're sending both teams to the locker rooms now. Let's check in with Kira and Coach Boyder.
Coach, a little bit of chaos there at the end, but you did get the win. How pleased are you with your performance tonight?
I am. Just to speak on that, I mean, that's not a reflection of the Westside football team. We're fortunate it wasn't shots fired. It was just a fight. And it's unfortunate to have to end the game because, these guys and these seniors, even with 3 minutes left, deserve to play a full football game. So it's unfortunate that outside stuff cut it short, but I'm happy with the way we played. Not necessarily on offense in the second half, but we did pick up some yards and flip the field a few times, which was good. So overall, very pleased.
When you look at last week versus this week, what did you learn about your team and their resilience to bounce back after a loss like that?
Yeah, I know, we talked about last week, just coming back from the hurricane, first game back. It was the same for Aquinas. I feel like they were a little better prepared, so I just took that on myself. It was my fault. And we just did a better job of making sure we got guys ready this week to play, and they responded in a big way, and we saw that tonight.
A lot of really great performances on both sides of the ball. What are you hoping to capitalize on as you move into next week?
Well, we've still got a tough schedule ahead. We've still got 4 region games left, long way to go. So the hope is that we'll just continue to get better every day and prepare and maybe get a few guys back healthy and can finish out strong.
Thank you for the time, Coach. We're glad everyone's okay. Not the way we wanted to end the game, but congrats on the win.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Guys, we're going to send it back up to you, and then we'll get to players of the game.
All right, Kira, thanks, and I appreciate Coach Boyder's time. So Harlem improves to 5-1, 3-1 in Region 4 AAA, and Westside falls to 6-1 on the season, 4-1 in Region 4 AAA. So we'll take one more time out, and we will let Kira get in place for the McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. We also have the hit of the game and the Powerade play of the game, all coming your way on the post-game show. Final score, 24-0, Harlem over Westside.
All right, back down here on the sideline, we have players of the game. We're going to start on offense with quarterback Mercer Barton. Mercer, you got your first start of the game tonight, a big win, a shutout over Westside. What was working so well for you on offense?
We just had guys making plays. We were getting a good rhythm going early, and just proud of our guys making plays.
One of the guys making plays was you, a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. What can you say about this experience tonight and what it felt like to come out here and get a win?
It feels really good. I'm just ready to get back to work. I'm proud of my team.
What do you want to take away from this as you move through the rest of your schedule? You still got 4 more region games, a lot more work to do. What do you want to take away from tonight?
Just take away that we can compete with anybody in this region, and we got the guys for it, and I just think this is a really good team.
It is a very good team. All right, there's some hardware for you. We're going to move on over to the defensive side. Jaden Futrell, huge interception for you. You were all over the place. What was working so well for you on defense?
My defensive line and my DBs just put me in a position to be great. I made the play.
What was the mindset coming into this game, coming off that loss at Aquinas? I know that wasn't really representative of who you guys are. So what did your team decide coming into this game?
I just knew we didn't play our hardest, and we had to leave it all on the field this game.
Same question for you. More region play to come. What do you want to take away from this game as you move through the rest of your season?
Just keep going hard, practicing, working hard. We're going to win.
All right. Thanks so much. That hardware is for you guys. An unbelievable game. Harlem getting the shutout win. We're going to send it back up to you to close it out.
All right, Kira, thanks, and congratulations once again to Mercer and to Jaden, our offensive and defensive players of the game, courtesy of McDonald's. And Harlem will now move on to another home game next week where they'll take on Howard out of Macon. Howard, another tough team. They're 3-2. Westside will try to regroup, and Nathan mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. They got to go on the road to face a tough Baldwin team next week. And so we got some more hardware to hand out, though. And we'll start with our QBs by the quarter for the fourth quarter, brought to you, as always, by Culpeper Lumber Ace Hardware.
Yeah, Barton for Harlem, that was player of the game on offense, was 13 of 22 for 106 yards passing, touchdown, and interception. I also had 19 yards rushing and a touchdown. And then Stone for Westside was 6 of 16, 64 yards, had a couple interceptions. Just the way the game was really forced to throw it a lot there down the stretch.
And that brings us to our hit of the game. A lot of
I don't know where
nominations
we're going here.
for this one.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going here. Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, why not? Our defensive player of the game, Jaden Futrell.
Your McDonald's defensive player of the game, Jaden Futrell, knocking it loose and almost coming up with the big pick. Now, the next one is not going to be a shocker.
And it's going to be Futrell.
We had this one penciled in from the get-go. Yeah. Our Powerade play of the game.
One of the best catches we've seen all year for sure, if not the best.
Well, if it's what we think it is. And I think it's going to be.
I got a feeling.
Oh,
hold on. Hold
there's a curveball.
Oh, we're going to go with the interception
instead.
You know
what?
Okay.
Go with the defense. That's fine. I like it.
So Futrell was the defensive player of the game, McDonald's defensive player of the game, had the hit of the game and the play of the game and the runner-up for play of the game.
So hopefully Jaden Futrell's family is rolling on the post-game show because it is all Jaden Futrell all the time. So with that, what an impressive performance tonight. Final thoughts, AB?
Well, I really impressive turnaround from last week to this week from Harlem, and I think Westside, they got off to such a great start this year. This just wasn't their night. They got to throw this one away. It's a big region game and a big region loss, but they got to forget this one. But like I said, I can't say enough about the bounce back from Harlem. Their offense with Mercer Barton looked so crisp, so clean. They just got off to such a good start. They dominated field position. Shows you how important that is in the game. And you got to give Coach Boyders and his staff and that team a lot of credit.
It's just one of the many, many key matchups as we get deep into region play. Don't forget Football Friday night coming up, 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6 with Gianna Cephalou, Graham Lee, and Mike O'Neill. And you Harlem fans are going to want to join us at noon on Sunday for the encore presentation, WJBF Sports Game Night Live, and you can relive the Bulldogs' big win tonight over the Westside Patriots. 1 week from tonight, we will be in Evans for one of the biggest rivalries in Columbia County, Greenbrier at Evans. Both those teams enter tonight 3-3, both teams fighting for their lives. You'll have an update on that game, or those games coming up on Football Friday night, but that could honestly be a battle for the final playoff spot in that region. So we'll see you there 1 week from tonight. For Kira Goldstein on the sidelines, our statistician Nathan Edwards, AB, John Hart in the booth. Thanks for watching. We will see you 1 week from tonight from Evans.